Adventure games are captivating. Whether you're stepping into the shoes of a bystander, a humanoid animal, or a straight-up hero, the choices, pacing, and the control of the narrative are all in your hands. Back in 1999, Ubisoft developed what many consider to be the best 3D platformer of its time. So grab your popcorn and sit tight, because today we're playing Rayman 2: The Great Escape. Where to start talking about Rayman? For one, this is the first game I ever finished, if I recall correctly. Who or what is Rayman? He is a limbless creature that lives in the glade of dreams, place that he defends from various threats. His abilities range from punching, gliding with his hair, and even shooting orbs from his hands. But Georgelis, what about Rayman 1? I don't know, okay? Back then, I never played it, and even though it's not bad, it's not as good as this one. Let's just focus on what is in front of us. The opening scenes of the game show us how the robot pirates have invaded our world, and they have enslaved the inhabitants of the Glade of Dreams. This is the Buccaneer, the ship that belongs to the Admiral Razorbeard, and where people are being imprisoned. Among those prisoners, there is Glowbox, our friendly frog friend, and Rayman, of course, who just have failed to put a stop to the Admiral. Rayman is happy to see his friend once again, but tells him that he lost his power. Things are not looking good right now. Glowbox has a solution to that when he suddenly opens his mouth, giving Rayman the silver lump he was saved. These silver lumps are fragments of power that fairies can create and help Rayman regain his abilities. So he's back on his feet to try to stop Admiral Razorbeard from slaving more people. Conveniently enough, there is a breakable door that might lead to a way out. It's a slide that's going down to nothing. As we look back, we realize that Glowbox followed right behind, unable to stop himself, crashing into Rayman, and now both falling into the land. Somehow Ray made it safely to the ground, but there is no sign of Glowbox. We arrive to a waterfall where we can freely wander around and controls are explained. I have to say that the ambience of this game is something else. I can still feel that nostalgia deep in my chest from the time I played this as a kid. Ubisoft made a great job of creating the setting of a fantasy world. You could even enter into the first-person mode to inspect your surroundings even further. Look at that. We're talking about a game from the 99. By pressing X while mid-air, Rayman's hair allows him to glide. Moving forward, I will name this ability We encounter some of Glowbox's kids and give them the news that their dad is safe, but not here right now since we got separated. To their cries, Rayman promises to bring him back after first finding Lee the fairy, in order to regain more of his powers. The children point that pirates took her captive and will find her in this direction. So to set her free we go. This is what I'm talking about. Look at the level design. Pun not intended. Magical. Across the adventure, other fairies and creatures will also be held captive in cages, which is why it's good to constantly check the first person mode since they're hidden sometimes. As we release them, they reward us with recharging our health bar and sometimes even enlarging it, this way making Rayman harder to beat in combat. In this occasion, we release the Teensies, magical creatures that watch over the doors in the Glade of Dreams and will help Rayman cross through them. They are just a glorified security guard. This is what your level selection screen looks like. Pretty dope. So from here, the only way is forward. Action continues in the second level. There is yellow lumps that are the collectible item of this game, and green lumps that represent a checkpoint in case of death. Puzzles and platforming is what Rayman exceeds at, and on top of that, very rarely you're gonna have two stages that are similar to each other. For this same reason, I beat the whole game in one sitting. I was just enjoying a lot. Also, Rayman can swim as well. Underwater, we'll find a blue lump that will help us hold our breath for a longer time. Like you already know, the robot pirates are the evil ones in this story, and at this point, they are expecting us. Sometimes we have to fight them, sometimes we have to avoid them. Even though the game is divided by levels, you forget about that easily as you progress, given that the situations you encounter are constantly evolving in different directions. The combat is another thing worth mentioning, because as simple as it is, it's well designed. It's fun, and it's not extremely easy. Nowadays, this isn't so common, but back then, if you went idle for 10 seconds without hitting the pause button, characters will be killing time in their own way, just like Rayman right now is bouncing his own body. We go through the Resident Evil laser room, even though we didn't need an unnecessary backflip. Further down from that room, we can see where Lee the fairy is trapped by some energy machine. Obviously, we have to stop it from working so we can save her. Following the duct connected to the machine, we find an electrical system that is very likely powering the energy field around Lee. With help from explosive barrels and Rayman's baseball arm, this is rather easy. After doing that a couple more times, the fairy is finally free from from her cage. Grateful but weakened is her current state. She says she will be not much of a help when it comes to the pirates, but point us in one direction that might be the definite solution. Polocus, a divine being that created the Glade of Dreams. With the help of 4 masks that are hidden, he will be reawakened and put a stop to the robo-pirate madness. Before leaving, she gives Rayman another silver lump, unlocking a new power for him. We can now shoot at purple lumps and swing from them like this is Spider-Man.
Nah, I'ma do my own thing.
Something that I find very funny is that at the end of every level, you'll rescue a captured teensy, and after a brief ritual dancing, he will open an exit portal for you. After beating a couple of fun levels, we take a deep swim underwater, where we believe we can find the first mask in the Water and Ice Sanctuary. Inside, we encounter Axel, the guard of what we're looking for. Unhappy with our presence, of course, he presents himself as our first boss fight. Extremely fun boss fight that requires coordination and patience. You need to swing from the purple lumps until you get close enough and shoot at that sharp iceberg that's conveniently above the guard. And just like that, the guard has been defeated. This way gaining access to where he's holding the mask. With the first mask in hand, Polocus summons us to his realm, where he promises to help with the pirates on the condition of finding the remaining masks. Wishes Rayman good luck and sends us back to land. Rayman goes through quite the journey to find the second mask, mounts literal cannons as horses, goes through haunted valleys, beats a one-eyed giant monster, finally saves Globox in the process, and subsequently solving every puzzle existent, he finds who is guarding that second mask. Listen well. If Robo Pirate wasn't groundbreaking enough, I bring to you Ninja Robot Pirates. Somehow they just disappear while fighting. This guy can be a problem. You have to time him well so you can dodge an attack, and even then, he can fake or shoot at you from a distance. And like any respectable boss with a second phase, this guy is a big Naruto fan and uses Shadow Clone Jutsu. Impossible to dodge. At the end, you just have to play it safe so you can bring him down. Takes a long time, but hey, we did it. Second mask is now in our disposition, and with it in hands, Polocus transfers us to his realm so we can place it. And on our way to find the third one we are. This part of the game, they got really creative with it, because levels rarely go back to what we've seen before. Stages become very high action, and I'm all up for it. Explosive arrows become a bullet you can maneuver as a plane. Admiral Razorbeard gets the news about Rayman's obtaining of the masks, and decides to put the pressure on him via chasing you through the levels. And Rayman goes through literal hell with no other thing than his hair. This hellhole is called the Rock and Lava Sanctuary, place that if we keep pushing further, we are bound to find Fauch, the guardian of the third mask. Of course he doesn't want us here, but it's not like we want to either. Fauch starts to chase Rayman frenetically, so he doesn't have other options than run. Our hero cannot take him on a full front fight, so we have to figure out a way around it. The way to beat him is very similar to the first guard. Conveniently place a stalactite, can be shoot down, and will fall on his head. A couple of times of this makes enough damage to stop him for good. Things are starting to look good for us, now that we have collected 3 of the masks. Just one more and Polocus will get rid of the pirates. The road to the 4th mask is not an easy one, since we had to face our huge friend Clark, who's being controlled by the robo-pirates. This is another one of those bosses where strength does not come into play when resolving the problem. By destroying the controlling device on his back, he regains his consciousness. Let's go. Immediately afterwards, we meet Oglet, Globox's wife, who's desperately crying because their children are captured in a floating island by the pirates. Rayman promises to find a way to get up there and save them all. Motion sickness alert. I don't even know what this is, but it was a very cool puzzle. We solve it and go down to what it seems to be a dock system. Numerous ninjas and pirates awaits us inside. We kept pushing forward, and at the end of our road, we find a hot air balloon that thankfully takes us high enough so we can find the island where Oglet children are captive. We finally set foot on the island, and the gate is controlled by 3 switches. Save us, Rayman, is what the children exclaim. We're gonna hit those switches with the help of this rocket horse that defy gravity. Took me a while, not gonna lie. You get disoriented quite easily. But 3 switches and motion sickness are nothing to Rayman. We get that gate finally open, and Oglet kids are now free. Rayman keeps his promise and completes the family reunion. Is that your favorite one? Before leaving, one of the children has something to show us.
It's the 4th mask.
conveniently enough, exactly what I needed. We say our thanks and goodbyes, and to save the world we go. With the 4 masks, Polocus is fully reawakened now, and he will get rid of the pirates on one condition. He will destroy every pirate fort on Earth, because there he is invincible. On the air, he doesn't have any power, which is why we have to face Admiral Razorbeard on his flying ship. Gives Rayman his final blessing and teleports him on top of the ship. The Admiral knows that we are on his trail, which is why he is buying a fully armored robot to get rid of Rayman when the time comes. The prison ship is both my favorite and most disliked level at the same time. Allow me to explain. It starts as a constant slide through the entire vessel that's very fast paced and requires you to be aware of what could fall in front of you. I don't really get why we are sliding the whole way through, but the whole scenery is quite epic. Now onto the part that I don't like. At one point, Rayman falls into one of the rockets and they can now fly, so we are maneuvering our way into the deeper deeps of the ship. Even now editing this part, I'm having a bad time. I may have failed 7 times approximately, but consistency is key, guys. Never surrender. At the end of the flight, we make it to a crowded prisoner room. Rayman sets everyone free, and at this point there is nothing more important than face the Admiral. Razorbeard's servants break the news that Rayman found the 4 masks and is on top of the ship. Retreating is not an option for the Admiral, so he is getting ready to finally face Rayman. We see the selector menu one last time. The Crow's Nest is the destination of the final battle. Razorbeard had captured Glowbox for a long time and planned to use him as a bait for Rayman. He shoots a cannonball that impacts the building and he is singing victory at this point. Thankfully, that cannonball hit neither. We make sure that Glowbox is okay. He's definitely not, but go off, I guess. And so it begins the 1v1. The Admiral robot suit is impenetrable to our abilities. He shoots cannonballs that chase us and he constantly tries to stump us, both things that are highly effective against Rayman. Initially, the way to beat him relies on shooting his own cannonballs back. They are explosive enough to damage him. In the middle of the altercation, the Admiral takes a high jump trying to stump Rayman, but fails spectacularly, falls down to the absolute nothing, taking Rayman with him in the process. Rayman is bound to hit the lava, but is saved by a silver lump created by Lee the Fairy from a safe distance. I don't know how she's expecting this, but thank you, I guess. With Rayman now safe, he is transported to a platform where a rocket is waiting for him. Lee makes an appearance to thank us and tell us that Polocus got rid of the pirates. The Admiral right now is the only thing standing away from peace. And here we have the second phase of Razorbeard. Same conditions we had before, but now we're flying. During the fight, he will put down a wall of spikes that we have to avoid like it's some flying lessons. And the more damage you do to him, the faster the sequence becomes. We needed a nearly perfect run with how little health I had in the moment, but it was done. We defeated Admiral Razorbeard with his own toys. The Admiral exits his destroyed robot suit and decided to escape, reveals that the machine was set to auto-destroy in the next 5 seconds. A very 90s villain thing to do. Rayman is trapped inside with that thing that it's about to blow up. The worst thing happened with our hero still inside. Only a shoe of him we could witness as the whole ship turns to pieces. Next thing we know, all of our friends are saddened about Rayman's disappearance and they're gathered to honor his remainings. The only person that wears shoes in this world, of course it has to be his. Rayman's energy starts emanating out of nowhere. People start noticing this when suddenly the legend itself emerges from the woods. The children and the rest of the general population cannot contain their happiness after seeing that he made it out alive. The fairy congratulates us for our efforts, Rayman hugs the kids, victory freeze frame, and the credits start rolling. Absolute masterpiece that I enjoyed like a little kid playing again. The game only has a story mode, so there's nothing extra to do. That was all that Rayman 2 The Great Escape has to offer. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It helps me out a lot and might help others find the video too. Reminder that you can follow me in my other socials where you can send me your best memes. If you don't want to miss the full playthrough of these games, make sure you join the live stream. Thanks a lot to everyone who said hi on the last one, and especially thanks to Golden Kitty who stuck around the whole stream. And with nothing else to say, happy Monday and good night.
Na sequência do trepa-trepa que ela fica muito louca. Quer dar uma rebolada, quer dar beijo na boca. Joga, 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 joga,